Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Shazam, issue number 33, 1973 comic review. Now, as you know, the 1970s Shazam comic, the first issue that I did cover, was meant to cover Captain Marvel's first appearance in the DC universe, where his Earth was originally set on Earth S, before the whole Crisis thing, and yeah, his name got changed to Shazam because of copyrights with Marvel. And the story is meant to cover the whole Shazammobile story with Shazam's race against Mr. Adam. And the cover has Shazam talking to Mr. Adam's head, and let's get on the story. It starts off how, on a racetrack, Shazam sees two racers losing control, saying, "Holy moly, have to act fast to save those racers." And of course, manages to help them carefully, and of course, flies off, turns back to Billy Batson, who wonders where Mr. Mind is after the last issue. And after talking with Uncle Dudley, they hear a sort of communication from Mr. Mind, who is meant to be a sort of alien caterpillar, and of course shows off his ultimate weapon, the Atommobile, which is Mr. Adam now returned after a few issues back on Earth 1, and we see how Shazam talked with Mr. Adam, saying wondered how he got back from Earth S after Earth 1, and he says, I was, but Mr. Mind saved me by transporting me back to this universe. And of course, we see how that if he takes Mr. Adam away or deals with him without doing a race, he will release cosmic radiation, and of course, Shazam can't risk that in the fear of putting others in danger, as this is Mr. Mind's plot to kind of bring Shazam to his weakest. And of course, Manly decides to help build a car, and gets the help of the legendary figures, which of course are meant to be based on his name. Hercules, Zeus, also Hermes and all that. And we see how he gets help from a sort of TV reporter, where it turns out there's a club that actually worship him and are big fans of his. So they mainly help get the parts and that he needs, and of course slowly builds the Shazammobile, and mainly takes it away, saying, "Oh yes, you can call it that, but I can't, because if I said it aloud, I'll change back to Billy Batson." And of course brings it down, changes back to normal with no one seeing him, but of course once he says the word Shazam, he changes into Shazam, with the Shazammobile now powered with his powers. And as Mr. Adams sees this, he says, "What's this? Do you really dare challenge me with that absurd Otto? Remember, I have the vast power of an atomic bomb." And of course, we see how they start the race, with both races sort of going through. And we kind of see how Mr. Adam gets annoyed that Shazam is going to win after 10 laps, and of course tries to deal with him by cheating. And just as Shazam's about to win, Mr. Adam gains through, only for Mr. Adam to try and throw him off the road, but thankfully throws off course by himself, and Shazam wins. But of course, we see how Shazam realizes that Mr. Adam's body has a remote control, and wants to deal with him fist to fist. And of course, has some new gimmicks. And after duking it out, we see how Shazam says, "This is getting me nowhere. I'll have to find a way to get rid of him. And I think I know how." And of course, throws him out into space at the right speed, and of course sentences him into the sun, as well with the Atommobile radiation before it leaks. And hopefully knows that the sun can kind of melt it down for parts. And we see how Mr. Mind says, "Oh, horrors! That big red bully has undone another of my generous evil plots for conquest. But he still doesn't have me. He'll never find me. Where am I?" And turns out Uncle Dudley managed to find Mr. Mind and locate him. And after this, Shazam gives the kids the Shazammobile as a reward for helping save the day. And this is the story. I think issue 33 is sort of alright. Again, it's a Bronze Age story. You know they're gonna go with a campy, kind of Golden Age feel story. Something I think both Marvel and DC did back in the late 70s and early 80s. And I think, yeah, the whole race story does work. And I could see the Shazammobile story being used again in a future DC storyline. So I think this issue still deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.